Not one, not two, but three critical gas infrastructure projects were inaugurated last week in a significant move to accelerate gas development in Nigeria. These projects are being undertaken by NNPC Limited and its partners, geared towards enhancing the supply of energy to boost industrial growth and create employment opportunities. This is a strong statement that not only aligns with President Bola Tinubu's promise to leverage gas to grow the economy, but also demonstrates Nigeria's commitment to embrace cleaner and more efficient fuels in line with current global realities. With the inauguration of these projects and the consequent increase in production, gas may just be the game changer to the economic growth and prosperity of Nigeria. Hello there and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, the program that brings you development in the energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egosa Tegumbo. Welcome. President Bola Tinubu commends NNPC Limited for its achievement in gas development. Nigeria's Folashade Adekeye, the director of NNPC Academy, emerges chairperson, African Petroleum Producers Forum of Directors of Oil and Gas Training Institutes, as APO seeks to establish world-class oil and vocational training schools. And Nasarawa state government looks to NNPC for gas development. It's a loaded packet tonight, so sit back and relax because Energy and You begins now. We begin the show with top energy stories from around the world this week. Oil prices extended gains at the beginning of the week amid political uncertainty in major producing countries after Iran's president died in a helicopter crash and Saudi Arabia's crown prince cancelled a trip to Japan citing issues with the king's health. Brent gained 41 cents to sell at $84.39 a barrel after rising to $84.43 earlier, its highest since May 10. China's imports of fuel rose 10% in April from a year earlier to 2.93 million metric tons, the highest level since 2020. That's according to Reuters records. The April imports, which equate to about 620,180 barrels per day, were 48% higher than in March, as traders brought in more shipments from Venezuela and Iran. North Sea oil and gas producers are merging and shifting overseas as Britain's windfall tax slashes profits and as the opposition Labour Party threatens more tax if it wins the next general election. The change of strategy could accelerate the decline of domestic production, risking increased dependency on imports, greater vulnerability to higher consumer prices, and more job losses. Oil majors such as Shell, Chevron and ExxonMobil have since pulled back from the aging basin in pursuit of more profitable oil fields, divesting assets to smaller producers such as Harbour Energy, Ithaca Energy, and Serica Energy. And here in Nigeria, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, says oil production was inching towards 1.7 million barrels per day. Kyari spoke during a stakeholders engagement between the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists and the NNPC Limited. The NNPC boss hinted that critical gas infrastructure projects are ongoing to ensure the transport of 8 billion stock of gas daily through an extensive pipeline network within the next 4 years. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Nigerian government's gas initiative has received a major boost with the inauguration of 3 critical gas infrastructure projects in the country. The gas projects are being executed by NNPC Limited in line with President Bola Tinubu's promise to utilize Nigeria's abundant gas resources to revamp the nation's industrial growth and kickstart its economic prosperity.
President Bola Tinubu, who disclosed this while commissioning 3 critical gas infrastructure projects executed by NNPC Limited and its partners in Ohaji Egbema in Imo State and Kwale in Delta State, also commended the National Oil Company and its partners.
This stage congratulates NNPC in particular because when we reviewed 11 months ago, we resumed, I asked of this project. I made my priority and the administration's priority clear on gas for prosperity. And they say, this might take 2 years. These 3 projects. Upon later review, they didn't make further promise, but they said they will surprise Nigeria. Today is a great day for your achievement, demonstrating teamship, commitment, and dedication to duty. I congratulate all of you, the entire team, for what you have done for the country to achieve this project in less than 2 years, 11 months. Fulfillment of promise. I thank all of you.
Some community leaders have this to say on the project.
So cooperating with the companies and the government to have this huge investment, we should also expect a reciprocal gesture so that we can be able to say, oh, thank God, NNPC, the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, with the oil companies selling, they've done what to us. They've reciprocated our gesture.
The company has been very good to this community, I must say. When it comes to economic growth, they've contributed so much to this community.
The 3 projects commissioned include the expansion of the AHL gas processing plant, the Ano gas processing plant, and the 23.3-kilometer Ano to Obiafu Obricom Oben Obi3 custody transfer metering station gas pipeline projects.
As we continue to look at the just inaugurated gas infrastructure projects and their significance to the nation's gas initiative, Energy and You brings you this documentary that highlights some of the features of the projects.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
The Ashta Vinayak Hydrocarbon Limited AHL project is a joint venture between the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) and Sterling Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited (SIPCO). It is designed to process 200 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, with a capacity to scale up to 240 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. The processed natural gas from AHL will be delivered to OB3, providing cleaner and more conveniently usable fuels to facilitate social, economic, and technological developments.
Ahead of the presidential commissioning, the plant is actually delivering gas into the OB3. So this is important. It's not notional, it's real. The second thing to note is that as we speak, notwithstanding that the OB3 pipeline is not on the list of pipelines or projects to be commissioned by the President, over 113 of the 130 kilometers is already in use. And with the commissioning of this plant, incremental volume of 220 million scf per day will enter into that system.
The AHL project is much more than the economic gains it has in store. It guarantees sustainable development achieved through public-private partnerships and the monetization of the entire gas business value chain across midstream and downstream segments. The AHL gas processing project is also expected to generate over $500 million in the next 10 years. During construction, it provided over 300 direct jobs, and during operations is poised to generate over 2,000 direct and indirect jobs.
We produce now approximately 12% of Nigeria's LPG. It has helped in reducing our direct import bill and FX requirement for LPG import. The advantage of the second gas plant will further help reduce our import bill on LPG. It will take our total market share from about 12% to little over 20%, thereby substituting all our import needs by domestic production done by Nigerians in Nigeria.
The benefits of the NNPC Limited SIPCO AHL project are manifold. A game changer in the energy sector, AHL guarantees household uptake of LPG, lean gas for power generation to gas and NGLs for the petrochemical industry, reduced gas flaring, leading to improved agriculture and environment. Increase in tax revenues, contributing to state development and improved quality of life through domestic LPG supply. AHL is committed to supporting local businesses and has additional CSR initiatives aimed at developing local communities, making a lasting positive impact on the region. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of the AHL gas processing plant, a symbol of progress, sustainability, and community development.
The commitment of NNPC Limited to the fight against crude oil theft has led to the arrest of more pipeline vandals across the country. Well, here is a progress report.
The war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration on hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 11th and 17th of May 2024, a total of 187 incidents were recorded across several locations in the Niger Delta region from several incidents sources. Nigeria Ajib Oil Company, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Company, Tanteta Security Services, Shell Petroleum Development Company, NNPC Command and Control Center, and government security agencies. 65 illegal connections were discovered in the past week across different locations in Ekakpamire and Umus Sedeli in Delta State and Akwa Odogwa in River State. On a single day, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited discovered 25 illegal connections on the Imo River 2 and on a 6-inch line in Odogwa Axis in River State. In Watson Point in River State, an oven is being destroyed by an evacuator. More illegal refineries were destroyed in Biseni, Tebidaba, and Tombol 3 in Bayelsa State. Obonoma, Bile, and Bukuma in River State, and Obuzo in Abia State. In the past week, a total of 45 illegal refineries were discovered and destroyed. Here, a wellhead in Obodo Omadino has been vandalized. 2 cases of oil spill were recorded in the past week, owing to activities of vandals.
38 wooden boats conveying illegally refined products and stolen crude were seized and confiscated in Ebocha, Gorokiri, and Bile in Rivers State, Eduwini, Obodo Omadino, and Azagbene in Bayelsa State. 4 illegal storage sites were uncovered in Bayelsa, Rivers, and Imo States, while 14 vehicles conveying stolen crude and illegally refined products were arrested across various locations in Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa states. 6 of these incidents took place in the deep blue water, 14 in the western region, 101 in the central region, and 66 in the eastern region. Between the 11th and 17th of May 2024, 17 suspects were arrested. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good. To report crude oil theft or suspicious activities within your area, call the numbers on your screen now, or send an email to report@stopcrudetheft.com. Handsome rewards await the whistleblower. Do your part. Report oil theft today.
NNPC Limited has successfully hosted the second meeting of the Forum of Directors of Oil and Gas Training Institutions at the African Petroleum Producers Organization, APO. The 2-day meeting, which held in Abuja, focused on how APO member countries can come together to establish world-class training institutions in oil and gas operations. This comes amid growing need for Africa's self-reliance on technology and expertise, oil and gas project funding, as well as robust energy markets. Now, the event saw the emergence of the director of NNPC Academy, Mrs. Folashade Adekeye, as the new chairperson, APO Forum of Directors of Oil and Gas Training Institutions.
Nigeria's Folashade Adekeye has emerged as the chairperson, Forum of Directors, Oil and Gas Training Institutions of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, APO.
We are poised to strengthen.
Adekeye, who is the director, NNPC Academy, took over from the incumbent chairperson, Mr. Abdelkader Juenone, the managing director of the Algerian Petroleum Institute, API, during the second meeting of the forum. Adekeye, who heads the NNPC's oil and gas training arm, brings into the role over 30 years of experience and is expected to work with her colleagues from APO member countries in order to foster more collaboration towards addressing the challenges of competencies, skill gaps, infrastructure, and poor funding in the organization's training institutions. Earlier in his keynote address at the opening ceremony of the meeting, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, represented by Inuwa Danladi, Executive Vice President, Business Services, emphasized the importance of a standardized educational and training approach to meet the changing demands of the oil and gas industry.
The time has come for APO member countries to join hands together to promote capacity development. Capacity development through effective training is crucial to achieving success in the oil and gas business for all member countries.
Also in his keynote address, APO's Secretary General, Dr. Omar Farouk Ibrahim, charged the member countries to work towards further enhancing collaborative efforts to establish oil and gas centers of excellence across the African continent.
We cannot continue to depend on external technologies and operators to fund, find, extract, refine, and market our oil and gas resources. The time has come for us to commit to self-reliant continent.
The directors of the member countries joined the discussion, expressing zeal for a paradigm shift in bridging the gap in skilled manpower.
The pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey. Your active participation, perspectives, and experiences are invaluable at identifying opportunities, risk, and profiling mitigations to value adding and optimization, thus contributing to the attaining of the vision of the forum. In the spirit of open discussions and understanding, respect for individuals, embracing diversity and inclusion, together we can shape Africa and the world at large in the bridging of skill gaps in our countries.
By engaging in robust discussions, sharing insights and collaborating on innovative solutions, we aim to not only identify training needs but also to devise actionable strategies that empower individuals and organizations to thrive in a rapidly evolving landscape.
The technical session of the directors' meeting saw discussions on the modalities and needs assessment to set the ball rolling towards establishment of world-class training institutions on oil, gas, and vocational expertise.
Still ahead, more partnerships forged for energy domestication and sufficiency. Stay with us.
One of the key things about NNPC is they're a good player in supporting small-scale farmers and supporting agri-businesses across Nigeria, most especially around the Niger Delta region and Upper North. They've seen NNPC doing a lot of good jobs in it, even in the area of infrastructure.
You're still watching Energy and You. With strategic partnerships, NNPC Limited is leveraging on the abundant gas resources in the country for rapid economic development. The company's Group Chief Executive Officer, Medicare, made the remark in a keynote address at the second Nasarawa State Investment Summit, which took place in Lafayette. Energy and You was there.
The group CEO, who was represented by the Executive Vice President, Gas, Power and New Energy, Olalekan Ogunleye, noted that the transition to a low-carbon economy is not possible without the traditional support of the mining sector, which makes Nasarawa State very strategic. He said NNPC Limited is fully committed to partner with Nasarawa State to leverage on the virtual gas resources in the state for economic growth and development. To this end, 3 different gas development agreements were signed with the state government by NNPC through its subsidiary companies, the Nigeria Gas Marketing Limited (NGML), NNPC Gas and Power Investment Services (NGPIS). Other partners are Axela and the Gas Aggregator Company of Nigeria (GACN). According to Kyari, through strategic value-yielding investment, applying technological innovations and sustainable practices, NNPC aims to catalyze development of the state's energy resources through guaranteeing inclusive growth and prosperity for all.
Energy sources such as solar, wind, hydroelectric power are increasingly becoming central to the global energy mix, promising cleaner and more sustainable alternatives to traditional fossil fuel. It is, however, essential to acknowledge and note that the transition to a low-carbon economy is not possible without the foundational support of the mining sector. And this is how Nasarawa State becomes very critical.
Speaking earlier, the Governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sele, said the summit was designed to foster strategic conversations and build partnerships towards attracting domestic and foreign investments. He commended NNPC for its foresight in accelerating the gas development initiatives of the federal government.
As you all know, we have heard so much about lithium being the new energy, the new direction, the new things that everybody is going. NNPC is thinking ahead, by actually getting partnership, to be part of the lithium. This is what serious-minded people do. They look at tomorrow. They become Nostradamus. They don't sit down and wait until tomorrow comes. So we want to thank NNPC for that, and that is going to be an agreement where the moment NNPC goes into that, NNPC will be part and parcel of the development of electric vehicles.
The aim of the Nasarawa State Investment Summit 2024 is to create and expand on existing pathways for leveraging the immense industrial, agriculture and mining potential of the state for inclusive and sustainable development.
And that's how we wrap up the show today. If you missed any part of it or previous episodes, You can catch up by scanning the QR code on your screen now. You can also follow us on all our social media handles shown on your screen to get updates of events in Nigeria's energy sector and other activities of NNPC Limited. Thanks for watching. I'm Erusa Igumbo. See you again.